Here we go, guys. Big Tuesday. A lot going on today. Plenty of NHL, NBA, college hoops. Good morning. It is February, Tuesday, the 3rd. What's up? Kind of a weird way to say that one, but what's going on? We have so much to jump into today. It's an action-packed Tuesday, and so we're going to hit up some DFS with Odds Jam, a little arbitrage, a little positive EV. Take a look at some middles as well, and also take a look ahead to the Super Bowl. We've been, kind of checking out some of the plays from time to time for player props to see kind of what's going on. So let's just jump into it. Hopefully you're having a strong start to Tuesday. Hey, guess what? I actually had a winning day yesterday. First time in like 20 years. Nice to get back into the green. And so, yeah, finally, just to have a nice winning day. Wasn't a huge winning day because obviously I'm not betting a ton, but still, to be back in the green, build on that for today, have another one for today. I'm really looking forward to it. So over here on PrizePicks, devigging to Pinnacle, looking to cook up a three-man slip. It is Taco Tuesday, though it's very early for Taco Tuesdays. Max Domi to not record a point tonight. Pinnacle's already sitting at minus 146 odds. Yes, I like this. I like this quite a bit. So we'll come over here, and this will be our first pick. Domi to not record a point. See if we can find those three others. No, I was going to say, yeah, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and devig to FanDuel to see if we can find anything else, because those other plays are just too low of an edge. No, according to FanDuel, no. Let's take a look at the sharp money tool to see what we have out here for Jared McCann. Under 2.5 shots. Pinnacle's at minus 134, so this isn't bad. It's not bad at all. It's not maybe a high EV edge play, but it's barely has a small edge, I would say. Small edge. McCann under on his shots on goal. Kind of fading a couple of guys right here. What else do we have in this Heat Hawks game? The under for Larson. FanDuel's at minus 118. I really don't care for that one. Melton. Again, the liquidity on these plays for the sharp money tool, too low, but, looking to see if we can find something where we're off somewhere. I might have to use the low holds tool to kind of see what's up, or I can also open up the Fantasy Optimizer here at the moment and kind of see if there's anything that I really like. Otherwise, I'll go over to the Larry model to try to finish off this slip. Yeah, can't say I really like anything over here at the moment. So for the EV tool, it's all right. We'll finish this off in style, because I do have the Larry model pulled up off to the side. Again, thanks, shout out to my friends over at Juice Bets and their awesome model. And so we're going to go ahead and hit this one up right here, guys. A 3-pick slip with no insurance. 2 plays from Odds Jam and 1 from the Juice Bets esports model. And let me share this link with you guys. 3-pick slip with no insurance. Irish, what's going on, man? Yeah, it was still tough, though, yesterday, Irish, but I'm glad we hit one. Glad we hit one on Nylander. Okay, Pasa Skunky. Huge day yesterday, said. Hit a first basket lay on the first 3 games, plus 16,538. Yo, Skunky, have yourself a day, bro. Congratulations, dude. That's an awesome hit. That's one to start the year off, just a little bang, bang. Congrats on that one. So sitting over here, this is a 3-pick slip. Hopefully, let me know, guys, if you had a solid day yesterday. Like I said, nice to see that for Skunky. I got back in the green, so my mentals are now kind of at check right now. I'm feeling a lot better, and looking to build on that today with another green one. So let's have a day today. And it is quite a day. Compared to yesterday in terms of just number of events going on, we have quite a bit. So let's take a look at Underdog and see what's cooking. Obviously, for my PrizePicks people, we have Taco Tuesday coming up later today, which is going to be a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for that. Devigging to FanDuel, not seeing much here, guys. These are all really slim to no edge, which, we can cook something up, but probably just stay away for at the moment. Now, this play for tennis, devigging to Pinnacle, I'm interested in. So let me go ahead and grab this. We're looking at the over 12.5 games won. Pinnacle thinks that this play should be at minus 146. Now, I will say a couple things. Number one, this is a very, this isn't a popular tennis tournament. This isn't like last week with the Australian Open. Pinnacle's only taking right now $100. So as much as I tout about Pinnacle being sharp on tennis, come on, dude, we're taking $100 here. But nonetheless, I'll still use them as a guide, but I can understand if you don't want to maybe play this one. I get it. But again, we might not have a slip to cook up right now because I got to have more than just one play. So that's the only problem this early in the morning when we're cooking up slips is that, usually the books aren't taking a ton of cash on these. All right, back to Larson here again, Melton again. Yeah, I'm kind of not really feeling underdog at the moment. We can come back to this here a little bit later to see if anything's changed. But right now, Pinnacle's 126. Okay. Not much. I'm not seeing a lot. Also, forgot to mention, it's Tuesday. So it's Hawaiian Tuesday. Always rocking a Hawaiian shirt. Every Tuesday. I'd say 95% of the time on Tuesdays, I remember. So trying to provide those Hawaiian island vibes, especially this time in the winter when for most people it's very, very cold. Again, this week is it's not only just Super Bowl week, but it's waste management week out here in Phoenix. So the biggest drunk fest tournament of the year returns to Scottsdale. It's a time and a half. I don't plan on going to the waste management. Maybe I'll get maybe on Friday or Saturday. Maybe I'll pop over. But Saturday is pretty insane in terms of the number of people and the turnout. So weather's supposed to be incredible here. Really, really good weather for the tournament. So if you're kind of not wanting to get out of the cold a little bit and want to maybe switch it up and find some warmer climate, pop on over to Scottsdale. All right, so for Better, I don't really like what we have going on Underdog. Better, we do have a discount, esports discount, Cooper Flag discount, which is nice to see. So I'm kind of bummed out yesterday that their discount on Embiid didn't even hit. What do we got here? And yeah, like this discount that they have though in the esports play. Again, we could go back to the well with Max Domi, which I'm okay with. But let's take this over to FanDuel to see what's up. Also, if we change this guys from worst case to power, you're going to see some more selections. One more here now for Pinnacle. Victor Hedman now turns into a slightly positive EV play if we turn this into a power slip instead of worst case. Again, it really just depends, guys, on what you prefer in terms of your DVIG method. I like to use worst case or power. Looking at FanDuel, again, these plays have an edge. They're really small. So I'm okay with taking Hedman under on his shots on goal. That's fine. We're looking at the under 1.5 shots. Okay. And then, again, I could just still go back to, let's go over here. We're going to finish this one off here. Let me take a look at the sharp money tool to see what's up. And then, yeah, the Pelly Larson placement out there, but it's just not that impressive to me. Somebody wants this at minus 120. So getting this at minus 116, all right, cool, but I don't feel like playing a 5-pick slip, so we'll just go back. I'll hit this play up on the Larry model here for the final pick. And this is going to be taking advantage of the eSport discount. Again, it's a perfect entry, guys, so all 3 picks have to hit. It's a max $10 wager. I'm playing these discounts every day. And I would highly recommend you do the same. So there's the link to that slip. There we go. All right, nice to see that. And next up, we'll look at a combination of dabble and parlay play. Here we'll still start off with FanDuel. There's only one result, Kaishan George. Over on his rebounds and assists, and it's a very slim edge. So not really excited about that. If we go to Pinnacle, again, Max Domi, Victor Hedman, not much going on there. Again, as we get later into the day, guys, things will obviously improve with the player props. This early in the morning, I normally wouldn't play DFS slips this early, but for those of you that this is the only time of the day that you have to cook up a slip, I want to try to get a few of them out there for you. Let's take a look at, let's type in Dabble, type in Parlay Play. What do we got? 2 results. Again, it's Melton and Karl Anthony Towns. Okay, minus 132 at FanDuel, but you can get this kind of a better price at some of the other books, unless you're playing a 5 or 6 pick slip. Cat, it's minus 122 on FanDuel, minus 110. Yeah, not really feeling this. So don't have much to really report on for Dabble or Parlay Play. The last book, DFS book that we'll take a look at is DraftKings Pick 6. Speaking of sleeper, guys, yesterday there was one of the, speaking of NHL anytime goal scorers for sleeper, Timothy Stützle for Ottawa. He did pot one, and on last night's stream, in the evening stream, we saw him pop up with value on sleeper. Sleeper is starting to show some NHL anytime goal scorer value, so be on the lookout for that for anyone that does use sleeper. Pick 6, we have nothing in terms of any kind of value devigging to any sharp sports book. So nothing there for pick 6. On the sharp money tool, nothing. Okay. Before we jump into the sharp money tool, ooh, thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. Okay. Before we jump in the sharp money tool, let's go to the arbitrage tool. And again, if this is the only time of the day, let's kind of reset a few things here. So let's look at the date range for today. Market, I want everything except alt markets. And then minimum maximum odds, I don't care about that. And that's pretty much it, I would say. What else am I missing? Oh, percentage. Sorry. Max 10% for pregame. Minimum, don't care. Sports books don't really care. Now, you know, overtime, guys, we talked about this with their mainline markets kind of showing incorrect odds. So what I'll always do for overtime first is I'll check it. And I'll check to see, like, let's take a look at this women's tennis match and see what's up. Speaking of that overtime, yesterday the play that I showed you guys that we bet on Reed Shepherd, that cashed. So that was nice over at overtime. So let's take a look at what we have going on. So if I'm looking at this women's tennis match, I'll just type in Ugo, U-G-O. Does that do anything? Not really. All right, cool. WTA events. We got 2 events. And don't know if they're playing in the Czech Republic, Romania. Don't know wherever they're playing. Where's this one at? Yeah, it's not popping up for me at the moment. Yeah, don't see it right now. So that's where I would just say, okay, overtime, not going to mess around with you. Ben, what's going on, man? All right, so is it good? It's good for player props. I find a lot of value devigging to FanDuel for player props. Is it safe? I have no idea. I need to make a withdrawal over there just to test out the withdrawal. Making a deposit is a breeze. You can make it within a matter of seconds. There's a couple extra, like I said, it's an online crypto exchange. So you're not going to get limited at this sports book because it's an exchange. But again, if you were to deposit any money in here, I would go in with thinking that you're not going to get the money back. So I would start off with very small amounts, $50 to $100. And it's definitely something that I want to Again, I've only won a couple of bets over here, so it's not like I have a very high balance. I got like $110 in there right now. I might try to execute a withdrawal for probably today, execute it for $50 just to see what's going on. Because, obviously you want to make sure that you test it out, but it's definitely, it gives me, for any of those OGs, DGens, there was a sports book out there, offshore book back in the day that I lost my money on called Juice Bet. And Juice Bet for a very long time, and they paid me a couple different times, they were really solid. But this is definitely, I would say, a sketchier book, Ben, for a few reasons. One, it's only available on OddsJam. Let me know if any other software is showing overtime, but I highly doubt they are. And then number two, we're just kind of talking about a crypto exchange. So it's a nice option for people that live in other states like Florida or Texas or California. But the problem here is that, it's kind of a newer sports book that is, we don't really know how safe it is. That's the problem. So if whatever you do put your money into, I would say put a small amount in, place a bet or two, test a withdrawal, and then, just keep whatever's in the account, be prepared to possibly lose it. I'm not saying you're going to get ripped off from this company, but we don't really know. It's not as trustworthy as a DraftKings or a FanDuel, that's for sure. So, and that's going to be pretty much my response for any sports book. Is it safe? There's always a risk, guys, that your funds could disappear. If it's in the United States, it's a very lower chance, I should say. But if it's an offshore book, that's the risk that you run. It's always going to be there. That'll always be present. All right, so a lot of sports Zeno plays early on, but definitely check them out and see what's up. Rick, it says, if you leave money in your account for 90 days, you forfeit the funds. I do know, Rick, that if you win a bet and you don't, the one extra step with this sports book is when you win a bet, you actually have to go to your profile and then claim the funds. If you don't claim the funds, then the funds disappear after, you forfeit the funds after, I think, maybe, I have to look at the fine print. I don't want to give you a day. It might be like 2 weeks. It might be a week. So you have to make sure that after you win the bet that you claim the funds. But yeah, you definitely need to be somewhat active on this book. It's not like FanDuel where you can leave your funds in the account for months and you're okay. So yeah, you definitely want to take a look at some of the finer print. But again, check it out if you want. Throw $50 in there, see how it goes. Move some money around. I totally get it, but it could be a very viable option. But there are going to be some extra maybe stipulations or hoops to jump through. All right, so this would be something here for any of my MGM Bet Online people. This is a very good ARB, or low vig. Low vig guys in offshore book, they're sharp. They really just copy Bet Online's odds for the most part. So, if you already have Bet Online, you don't have to worry about low vig. But low vig does have some different player prop odds. I'll give them that. So could be another good book. I have an account with them. Haven't put money in there in a minute because I haven't seen them pop up a ton. But if I see them pop up a little more with their logo, I will. And for those of you that are curious, in terms of where we're at in the sports betting calendar, we're still in a really good time. Things don't really start to suck until the NBA regular season ends. So we still have, I think, at least 30 to 34 NBA regular season games left. So still plenty of time, all of February, all of March, and then most, if not all of April, we're going to be in good shape. It's not really until we get to the second round of NBA playoffs that you notice a considerable drop in volume for plays. And baseball does come back at the end of March, which helps. We have a nice sweet spot with the NBA regular season in baseball. Really, it's that end of March, the first 2 weeks of April. It's a really good time. I would say it's just as good as it was back when we had, football going on. But that's really where we're at right now, guys. So still a really, really good time to hit these up. ARBs, obviously a ton of player props. And I don't want to spin my wheels. I want to keep the stream moving a little bit here. So this Kalshi play on Duke and Boston College. Okay, so there's only $30 here on Kalshi, right? And I don't know who's made the mistake here because it's hard to say. But even on a $30 ARB here with Kalshi, right? You put in $242 over here on DraftKings. You can make like $9. Like, this is really solid here, guys. And the beautiful part about this play is DraftKings is the heavy favorite. Kalshi will let you bet whatever you want to bet. Right now, there's only $30 available to get it at this price. But this is a free $9. Whoever can go to Kalshi the first, I would bet this on Kalshi first, then put this over in on DraftKings. Again, only bet the $30 that's available here on Kalshi. And I forgot to mention, guys, there is a new calculator that was added on OddsJam. It's because I asked for it. It's called Prediction Markets. Literally called Prediction Markets. So if you don't know what the price is on Kalshi, plus 837, right? Like, let's say you go to Kalshi right now, and I'm not gonna bet this. I'll leave this out there for you guys. But this is a new thing out there where, like, if you go to Kalshi, and I go to Duke and Boston College, and it's telling us to bet what? You know, Duke at minus 39.5, okay? So Duke minus 39.5, and you're like, dude, what's 10 cents? I don't know what 10 cents is. Well, just come over here and type in 10, and it's literally going to tell you the odds. It's going to say, yo, right here for 10 cents, that's plus 900 odds, okay? So I asked for this calculator. They added it last week. I've completely forgot to mention it to you guys, but we do have a prediction market calculator for Poly Market and Kalshi. So if you're getting a price of 73 and you're like, what's that? That's minus, you know, if you use decimal fractional American, it's going to break it down for you automatically so that you can figure out the price. So definitely take a look at that. Ben, in terms of what's happening with Bovada, no. I would say if you want to pull money out, totally understand that. It's typically a scraping issue. And I've mentioned this before for other sports books. Like, if you see a sports book disappear and then come back, normally, and I'm not an IT guy here, but however OddsJam pulls the odds from a sports book, however the process that they go about it, the sports book has probably slightly modified or changed the way that, you know, you can pull those odds, and the IT team needs to fix it or figure out how to then scrape and pull those odds again. So when you see a sports book disappear, it doesn't mean that they're gone forever. It most likely means that OddsJam hasn't either figured out a fix yet to pull the odds. That's my best guess. Right now, you know, we mentioned this before, like Bet365. Obviously, I'm hoping that it's not like, 3 months or 5 months that a sports book is off. But yeah, if obviously, if you're not using Bovada right now, because it's not there on OddsJam, then I would definitely, if you can use those funds in another way, then pull some money out. I don't know if I'd pull all of your money out because I do expect Bovada to return, but I don't know at what time. But that's my best answer, Ben, in terms of kind of what happens when it comes to when a book disappears. That's why it does. So, and Bovada is obviously, for those of you that live in a state that's not, really regulated for sports betting, that's a huge book because it does provide a lot of NBA value. It's really what I would only use Bovada for, is for the NBA. So there's that. Wanted to mention that, guys. Prediction market calculator. Throw in the price. It's going to help you out. It's just going to help make things a little bit easier for you, so that you don't have to figure out this on an odds converter calculator. Okay, let's go over to the EV tool, or let's go back to the Sharp Money tool, and let's take a look at everything other than alt markets. Do apologize, as always, a little congested in the morning. So as I mentioned before, guys, overtime, they pull the incorrect, OddsJam pulls the wrong or incorrect odds on main lines and alt lines. You really only want to use overtime for player props because OddsJam is pulling the correct odds for player props. So let me go to sports books here and just remove overtime because they're going to be incorrect on their mainline markets. Paolo, there's a lot of people that really want Paolo under on his points at minus 133, minus 136. So we can get this at better or underdog at minus 116 or minus 122. So this is a very good play on Paolo. It's minus 132 on FanDuel, so we're getting a small edge. Not much, but there's a lot of money out there that think that this under is going to hit. So take a look at that. Wizards. Whoa, bet 105. Okay. This is really good to bookmaker, really good to bookmaker, bet online, and circa. Little sprinkle here, guys. Wizards and the Knicks. I'm going to put like a quarter of a unit on this play. Again, bet 105 typically copies Pinnacle's odds. And again, if you use code BillyC when you sign up over there, you're going to receive when you deposit $100, you're going to receive a $50 bonus, and it's only a 1x rollover. So you only have to wager through $150 one time. So we're looking at the Wizards. It's now dropped down to plus 526, but this person wants it for a plus 526. So, damn, they did drop, which sucks. Not sure how I feel about it now because it's not as good as it was at plus 540. Yeah, it's gone now. Boomers, talked about Boomers. It's a sports book that's only seems to be available in Nevada, excuse me, not Las Vegas, but in Nevada. So if you live in Nevada, this is definitely seems to be a softer sports book that you want to go after and attack. Mavericks on the money line, not bad. I don't know how to feel about this Wizards play. Kind of wanted to just throw a little sprinkle on there. Oh, never mind. I got a free bet over on bet 105. So I'll throw this free bet on the Wizards. I got a $50 free bet, guys, on the Wizards. So I'm going to put that on the money line. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that one goes. All right. What else do we got here? Golden State. Chi-Town, what's going on, man? How are you? Let me know if any of you guys got that ARB on the Duke spread over at Kalshi. That's a really, really good one. Ooh, Portland. Okay, hold up. Trailblazers, this is over at Canby. Plus 143 odds. This is 9 cents off to Pinnacle, 11 cents off to Bookmaker. This looks very nice. Yeah, I'm interested in this. Just a little sprinkle here for me. Maybe just over a quarter of a unit. You know, maybe a half unit at most, guys. I'm going to log in over here on Bet Rivers on my phone and hit this play up. I can't remember the login information for to put it on my desktop. So I know I can log in on my phone. So that's why I just use it over there. Looking at the Trailblazers taking on the Suns tonight. And I'm just going to throw like 30 bucks on this because unfortunately that's kind of where I'm at with it. But we get a good price. Blazers, money line, plus 143. Sharp money tool. I like that. Really good price. All right, I'll take that. What else do we got here? The rest of this liquidity, a bit low in terms of like for me to be confident in playing this. But all right, something just to note there, guys. Take a look at. I do like going after a lot of mainline markets. That's what we're going to focus on at the moment for today, just to kind of see what's up. I guess we'll start off with some hockey. Let's select all the books, or we can just throw it all up and just see what's going good with Pinnacle. We'll do worst case. For an odds range, let's take a look to see what's up. We won't set an odds range or anything first. Forgot about overtime. Apologies. So let's get rid of that. All right, what do we got? All right, so for no vig, again, I have no odds range set at all. No vig really likes this under on Valparaiso and Bradley. Again, guys, they're taking $1,100. There's about, well, there was. Now there's about $400 available. This looks very good. Also, it's even better over at ProfitX, and also not bad over at Bet Rivers at all. Bookmakers only slightly off in their pricing. This Valpo game on Bradley, if you're like me and you're limited on Bet Rivers, go bet this play over there. If you're not limited, I would not bet this on any of the NCAAB books. You know, nobody bets unders this early in the morning, but this definitely looks to be some solid value. Let me look at this event page really quick to see where the sharp books are with this line. Again, with college basketball, guys, with totals, you're going to see everything's all over the place. Circa's at 142, Pinnacle's 142, Bookmakers 143. Again, if we can get this at 143.5 at minus 104, yeah, that's really solid. I really like this play. This is Valparaiso and Bradley. So just kind of double checking stuff, right? And so I'll go over here to Bet Rivers and try to throw maybe, see what's odds telling me to bet here. Telling me to bet about 50 bucks. The under 143.5. It's now up to minus 109, but I still like it depending, just based on the line. I can get it for $45. All right, so I'll take the $45 and limit, $45.04. So we'll open this up. As you can see, they're already moving now. They moved the minus 109. So again, it's really easy to see that you can get a really good price over here on the under 143.5. So still take that. It's still a small edge. Let's refresh the page here and see what's up. Today for tennis, again, very low liquidity Pinnacles taken here. They're at about 350 bucks. This is on DraftKings. It's a big underdog here. But again, I don't have any minimum odds range really set up for anything here. So there we go. Now, this is a Finnish hockey game that starts in about 2 hours over at Bet365. Oh, I could have got this at 144.5 on DSI. It's my fault, dude. Should have just got the 144.5. Caesars Bet DSI, guys. Don't take the Bradley play at 143. Take it over at Caesars at 144. You literally get an extra point at 1 cent worse of a price. Illinois State Bet 365 Caesars -8 on the spread. I love betting these spreads. Big spread guy. Big spread guy when I'm putting my peanut butter on my bread, and big spread guy when it comes to college basketball. So as you can see here, bookmaker thinks this should be at -8.5 for Illinois State. Okay. Circa thinks this should be at -9. We're getting this at -8. So if Illinois State wins by 8 points, this is a push on Caesars or Bet 365, where if you would have bet this over at DraftKings, it would have been a loss, right? MGM, all these regular books have this at -8. But you can see Caesars is hanging out down here. And Bet 365. So very, very, very good play. No doubt. Now, one thing I will say is, like, I don't want to get limited yet on Bet 365 because on this account I'm not limited yet. And same for Caesars. So if you're in my kind of spot, I'm willing to drink a little bit of juice to get this at -115 over at BetOnline or Bet DSI. So I'm just going to go to Bet DSI and just bet this. So again, that's kind of my workaround here, guys. Obviously, you're not getting it as good of a price at -110, but I'm still okay getting this at -115 because I know that all the other sharp books are up here when it comes to their line for this play. You know, half point, 1.5 point off, and so I'm loving that. I love that. So college basketball, looking at Illinois State. This game's at 5 o'clock. Again, smaller school, but still a good play nonetheless. I'm going to go in for 100 bucks. Okay. Love seeing that. Shout out to Bet DSI. I've been having this account with them for like 4 years. They still haven't limited me. Okay. Again, I have no odds range set up here, guys. We're just DVing a Pinnacle. $10 over here in Pitt, Virginia. I did throw some money into my Bet Openly account, so for those of you that are using Bet Openly, I'm back in the game. I'm ready to go. We got some point spreads here for basketball. Euro Cup, guys. Honestly, this game starts at 9 o'clock. Like, I don't mind if you want to bet this play. Pinnacle's at -155. Now, they're only taking $500. The reason that I'm okay betting European basketball right now is because this game starts in less than 90 minutes, right? So I'm all right with going after this. Let me double check BetMania, a global offshore book, to make sure that like this play is actually legit on the Warriors and the 76ers. But some other plays. Again, you have some different options with this spread on this basketball game. So take a look, see what you like. Obviously, they're a heavy favorite. They're going to win by a lot of points. Western Michigan and Ohio, Maction. Plus 104 on Bet Rivers. Like, this is a really good play at the over 155.5. Always open up this event page. Like, where's Bookmaker? Where's Circa sitting at on this total? Right? Because we can get this at 155. Circa's at 155. We're getting this at what? 155.5. And Bookmaker is all the way down to 156.5, which is pretty crazy. Also, you can see that the main line here is that Bet Rivers is at 154. So let me kind of back up for a second because I'm throwing a lot of numbers at us. Okay, this is an EV play here at over 155.5 at plus 105. All right, but when you open this play up, you could see that over here we can get the over 154.5 at minus 107. All right, well, Bookmaker has this at 156.5. They're 2 points off, and they have this at minus 101. So I would rather you guys take the safer play. This is still a very EV play, taking the main line on Miami and Western Michigan, Ohio, Western Michigan and Ohio, over at NCAAB Sportsbook. So that's what I'm going to do, right? That's something else you guys can think about. You can ladder this if you want to. If you want to take the over 154.5, the over 155, that's fine. But I'm just going to take the over 154.5 because it's the main line, and I know they'll let me bet the most money over there. So I'm actually going to go in for a little bit higher here, $75, and see what's up. They'll only let me bet $44. That's fine, okay? 44.08 on Ohio and Western Michigan. So I go ahead and grab that. 1 cent better over at Ballybet. But again, even if you're limited, guys, on your Bet Rivers account and you can only get $30 down, take these plays all day long. I swear they're almost like layups. They're just like asking for you. And so this is how you can kind of deduce, like, is this a good play or not? So if I bring Bet Rivers over here just to make it on my screen, it's really simple. Like, they're at minus 107. No sharp book has this over. Circa's at minus 110 on the over 155.5. We get a half point less and a better price than Circa. And then, you can see Pinnacle over here. They see this as a favorite. Still a favorite over 155.5. And then we don't see BetOnline and Bookmaker flash odds for this until 156 and 156.5. So when you're attacking totals for college basketball, these are things that I like to look at. I just don't automatically bet this play. It's EV, but I'm like, wait a minute. I bet you, like, if we get this at 155 or 154.5, it's still going to be EV. And that's an easier leg to hit. And trust me, sometimes it comes down to that 1 point. So let me go ahead and refresh the page. You can basically smash totals and spreads early morning on your Canby limited account all day long. And this is an easy way to still make 25, 40 bucks a play, guys, on that account. Very tempted to bet this over on Bet365 right now because it looks pretty good. So we're just looking at some main lines right here. And that's kind of what I like to focus on early in the morning. Again, if you're limited on Fanatics for this tennis match, try to bet whatever you can. I'm going to go over to Fanatics, see if I can get whatever I can over here. Pinnacle's taking $1,100 on this matchup. It starts in about 3.5 hours. It's tennis. I don't really know much about it, and I know that I'm limited on this account, so I'm okay with just coming over here and taking this on Estevez at plus 120 and just try to bet as much as I possibly can. I can only bet 10 bucks on this play, but guess what? I'm still going to bet $10 because it's better than nothing. If I make 12 bucks today, that pays for almost all my Chipotle. So I'm on there, guys. Fanatics, you can't really see it, but Estevez for 10 bucks. There we go. All right, what else do we got here? First half money line play. Ooh, we got a Kalshi play. SMU, plus 110, plus 101. All right, Bookmaker's not quite as bullish on this play as Pinnacle is, so I'll kind of pause on that one. Again, you got some different Fanatics plays. If you're limited on Fanatics, guys, if you're limited like 10 bucks, just rip through these plays. You're going to have a really good time. Cal Sheet, Kent State, Toledo. Right? We just talked about how we have a prediction market calculator. So let me go over here. We're looking at the under 163.5. Again, if you want to open this play up, first up, let's pull this up, Kent State. Again, guys, I bet on Cal Sheet every day. Let's take a look at the event page. And if you grab this before I grab it, no problem at all. Happy that you did. You can see bookmakers at 162, Circa, BetOnline. They're all at 162. We get this at 163.5 at minus 116 odds. So I say no. What's 52 cents though? I don't know what 52 cents is. Well, guess what? 52 cents over here in the prediction market calculator is minus 108 odds. That's a value. I like that. So let me go ahead and grab this for like 55 bucks. All right, so do I think the over is going to hit at 163.5? No, I do not on Kent State and Toledo. I don't believe that at all. So we get this now at minus 108 odds, which was a really good price. That's what the calculator said it was. Fantastic at minus 108. That's a very EV play. And so I'll type this in here, and I got it for 55. So I'm super pumped about that. Great price over at Cal Sheet. Again, guys, low liquidity plays on Cal Sheet, kind of like your exchanges like NoVig and ProfitX. I don't think the professional bettors are trying to dangle a carrot in front of me and say, ooh, come on, we're going to try to get one on the odds jammers. Like, no, I don't believe that at all. Just go bet it. So something I kind of need to remind myself to do is just like rip through these Fanatics plays. Like, I only got 60 bucks in the account, but if I can bet a bunch of these for smaller amounts of money, I mean, this is going to be fantastic. So like looking at this Murray State play, right? I'm pulling this up here. So under 156.5 is an EV play over here on Fanatics, okay? But I come over here and I see that, all right, well, I see the main line's at 159.5. Guess what? BetOnline thinks that's a very good line. Circa's at 159.5, or 159, so is Bookmaker, but I can get this at 159.5 at minus 115 on Fanatics. Yo, let's just bet the main line, and I'll just try to bet as much as I can. And I can only bet $17.25, but like, I'll still bet that for $17.25 all day long. Rick, yeah, I mean, listen, I understand like $10 isn't much, but if you were able to maybe, bet 10 of those, and I still think it's worth it, and I still think like you can still make money on accounts grinding $10-20 limits. Not everybody wants to do that, and I used to, I think this is a humbling experience for me now that my bankroll has dropped a lot because I got smoked in January. I've kind of forgotten or kind of like neglected and ignored these like $17-20 bets on Fanatics. Like, this can make a small difference in your bottom line, and it's just like a no-brainer. So Pinnacle's at minus 133 on this. I think I need to get kind of back into grinding this. Now, I'll try to maybe bet the under 156.5 as well, just to see if I can get something down, because obviously it's EV. But I talked about this in videos in the past, guys. When you're placing bets on limited sports books, this is like the perfect testing grounds. The perfect testing grounds to just like, try a new strategy. I can bet $12 here on this play. All right, we're going to do that as well. So we bet 12 bucks on this play. And so now I'm really in for like 29 bucks total for a couple of different ones. Central Michigan, speaking of the Fanatics theme. And you're also going to get some fan cash, right? I don't mind it. Fan cash point spread, Central Michigan. They're at what? Plus 11. This is very good. If I pull this open, and obviously you don't need to really watch these streams, guys, to like know that like Fanatics is really easy to beat. But again, BetOnline's got this at plus 10.5. Bookmakers at plus 10. Circa's at plus 10. We can get this at plus 11, which is really, really nice. So I'll try to bet $30 on this. They'll let me bet 22 bucks. So I'll take this for $22. grinding on this Fanatics account, just making whatever I can make. A little bit of money here and there. So I'm all about that. Yeah, Rick, no doubt. So kind of like those, and I probably maybe I should throw some money back into Hard Rock and just like bet as many plays as I can that are main lines for $10. But definitely interested in doing that. Definitely. And then same thing here. Like instead of me logging into FanDuel, I'm just going to hit this play up for this. I don't even know how to type in. I could probably just stop right there. Yep, I just had to type in KK Bud. Get Bud over here. I got like $11. See if I can hit that up. $11.75. Yeah, they'll take that. $11.75. So I'm in for it's all the money that I had in the Fanatics account. Honestly, probably going to have to throw some more in there right now. Grinding this account for some smaller amounts. But yeah, if you're willing to grind, which I think I need to get back in a grinder mode, this can definitely make a small difference. So there we go. Out of money on Fanatics. Appreciate you, Fanatics. And there we are. Back to this first half money line play. Pinnacle's taking $250. I have to see what's going on with Bookmaker. So there's some mainline markets here, guys. Let's take a quick little peek. It's a little early. I normally don't look at NHL goal scores. I'll take a peek right now to see kind of what's up for those of you that are, curious. Things have ran definitely colder, but I still believe in it. Willie Nylander, plus 230 odds, bet 365. Yeah, that looks really good. Kucherov, Tage Thompson, again, bet 365. Gensel, bet 365. Again, if you have a bet 365 account, NHL anytime goal scorers are popping up. I know we don't really see the NBA props over there, but they're still there for hockey. So I would definitely hit those up. And we talked about in other streams how you can use Hard Rock as pull Hard Rock up, look for positive EV plays for Hard Rock, and then check the odds over on Bet365, and you'll find that Bet365 will have similar odds. So a workaround there. The Gensel plays, again, in consideration, but these three plays right here all day long. Yeah, nothing else really below here that I'm going to go after at the moment, but really good play. So Kucherov here, because I'm limited on my Bet Rivers account, that's kind of why I go after this. Plus 117 odds. I'm just going to go ahead and hit this play up right now for the Sabres. They're telling me to bet $60. And even on my limited account, guys, if I can only bet $40, $50 on college basketball totals, I know I can bet probably close to at least $100 on this account when it comes to NHL goal scores. So Kuch at 117, it's telling me to bet $60. I agree, and I'll place that, and we're in on Kuch. No problem at all. Nice to see that. Bingo. Now, my Bet365 account, I'm not limited on, so I definitely still want to bet this Nylander play. Honestly, at 220 at FanDuel, it's okay. It's not as good. It's just under a 3% edge, so it's still worthy to bet this on FanDuel, guys. Obviously, I would be interested in betting this on FanDuel or MGM because I'm limited on FanDuel, and so I'm not worried about getting limited again on FanDuel. Bet365, this game doesn't start till 6:30, so it is a very good price, though. Definitely check that out. All right, man, we're kind of racing through. So let's take a look at some Super Bowl props, Super Bowl plays. Let's go next 7 days. Let's clear this out, I should say. Pretty simple. We can just type in football here. It's that time of the year where that's all we have to really worry about. And I don't know. We'll look at Circa. We'll look at Pinnacle. We'll go with Power. No odds range set for this right now. Get the hell out. This has to be an error. There's no way this is real. If this is real on Fliff, guys, this is unload the account. Like, this is a 5 to 7 unit play. But I doubt that this is actually real on the Seahawks money line. So that's probably fake. Same thing here with Bet. We've talked about this. Play's been out here for 3 days. It's definitely incorrect. Okay. Sam Darnold, anytime TD. Again, these are insane odds here, guys. I don't have any filters set up for the odds. Interesting. Got some longer shot plays. So for those of you guys that are looking to cook up, a long shot play like that, this is where you can go find that, right? Ramondre over on his rushing yards. Seahawks team total. Okay. Team total under 24.5. Now, this is more of an actual real number that I could get behind. Circa's at $3,600 at minus 120. We can get this at FanDuel for the Seahawks team total under minus 104. It's very, very good. Yeah, exactly, Rick. Or copy Fanatics odds and no vig, and you can wager even more money. So definitely do that. I don't mind this play at all on the Seahawks team total. And just for the record, I really, really want the Seahawks to win this one. I cannot have the Patriots having more Super Bowls than my Steelers. So I am all on Seattle. But I still would bet this under, no doubt about it. Get it at DraftKings, guys. You can get it at Kambi. You can get it at Fanatics. You know, Pinnacle doesn't have odds for this market. If they do, maybe they do. Maybe they just have it at a different mark, different spot. What do we got? Oh, Pinnacle does, excuse me. They're at 25.5. 25 is kind of the number's weird. It's a weird number, but still, 24.5 is a very much more plausible number. They're at minus 108, so they would be in agreement here with Circa with their pricing here. So I like this play on the Seahawks under. Juicy play here on Fanatics, but if you don't like points, you could bet this at minus 330. Okay, Kalshi, Austin Hooper to not score a touchdown. Again, very, very juicy play. Circa's at 1,500. Pinnacle doesn't have odds for Austin Hooper. They have odds for a lot of players for anytime touchdowns, but they don't cover as many as Circa does. So, if you like short odds plays, there's only $35 available. Grab this play on Austin Hooper, though it's a low edge. All right, let's go over and look at Pinnacle now. What do we got? Forget the overtime plays, forget these plays up here. But Kenneth Walker, Sam Darnold. If you think that Kenneth Walker is going to go nuclear, I would bet his over rushing yards on Bet Rivers. Or if you want to play it safer, or if you want to go a step further, you could take his over rushing yards on DraftKings or Onyx. Again, if you're looking to have some fun with the Super Bowl, you're getting some parlay boost, this and that. This is where you can kind of create some scenarios where you take the over in the game maybe, or you take the over on the Seahawks team total over. You take Kenneth Walker over on rushing yards, maybe Sam Darnold under on his passing yards, right? Maybe something like that. You can find some positive EV plays here. The idea behind this, guys, is if you're looking to cook up some parlays, try to create a story. And what I mean by that is over on Drake May passing completions, well, hell, I'd probably want to take the over on Hunter Henry. Make some positively correlated stories, whether it's a bunch of unders or a bunch of overs, right? All of this is available there, or you can cook this up, right? So when you're looking at certain sports books and you're like, you know what, maybe you got some boost on FanDuel that you really want to take advantage of. Well, then look at the board here and don't just take the top plays. Try to think of like positive correlation that maybe you can then also have correlation baked into your parlay, right? So I'd say, all right, take Drake May and Sam Darnold over on their passing touchdowns, maybe Hunter Henry over on receptions, take the over on the main line points because you're expecting there to be 6 touchdowns in this game on this story, right? Or take Sam Darnold over passing touchdowns, JSN, maybe you take them over 1.5 receiving touchdowns, right? Player touchdowns. And maybe the fourth quarter you take the over on, right? Because there's more scoring in the fourth quarter. These are all little things that you can do. So speaking of that with FanDuel, because I just want to have fun with this, I would imagine they have to have some type of boost going on right now. And I'll kind of talk about this and kind of hit this up. So according to Pinnacle, this is going to be a very, very solid play. So what do we got for my promos on FanDuel? Do we have anything? There's a touchdown jackpot. Most rushing yards, okay. Honestly, that's kind of is that it? That's it for the Super Bowl right now? They got a 30% profit boost used on rushing yards, all rushing yards, or most rushing yards. Okay. So rushing attempts. So there isn't much on FanDuel in terms of anything that's there. But here's what I'll do for this. I'll say, all right, let's go over here. Let's take a look at the Super Bowl. And that's the thing, right? You want to be able to find books. You want to be able to find a book, whether it's DraftKings or FanDuel, that's showing you some type of value where you could say, all right, well, you know what? First quarter money line Patriots. Maybe we have rushing yards on Drake May. You kind of create some kind of story in your mind where this can definitely hit for you. So little things like this, guys, is where you can find some really nice plays, hit some different things up. You know, maybe you like the Patriots minus 13.5. You take Sam Darnold over on his interceptions. Drake May over on passing completions. But okay. So definitely some solid plays out there between all the major books. Let me select them all so we can just kind of go through them once more, and I'll show you guys what's going on. Patriots minus 7.5. Hunter Henry's been out there for a minute. I bet his under last week at plus 110. So it's plus 110 right now on Pinnacle, so I didn't get very good closing line value. The over in this game on no vig at plus 103. You get the over at Profit X at plus 118. Pinnacle's taking $30,000 here. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. I'd go bet this over at no vig. This is an easier side to hit than the over 46.5. There it is. Drake May on passing touchdowns. Okay. Yeah, there's some really good things here. I definitely like this Sam Darnold JSN over on the touchdowns, guys. Over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Take the over 1.5 player touchdowns. If you want to take Darnold over 2.5 passing touchdowns, fine by me. But some solid plays here for the Super Bowl. A lot to bet, no doubt about that. The only thing, guys, is obviously your funds are going to be tied up from now until Sunday. So, you know, that's the only kind of thing. We're kind of back to like September betting where your funds are going to be tied up for the rest of this weekend. So if you plan on betting at a sports book, then maybe you want to wait until a little bit later. Rashid Shaheed over here on Fanatics, guys. You can still get down really good money on Fanatics for anytime touchdown scores. It's a lower edge play, but it's got an edge nonetheless. You might be able to get a little boost over there on Fanatics. All right, that's where I'm going to kind of pause the stream right now. Tonight is going to be action-packed with NHL player props, anytime goal scorers, NBA player props, college basketball. There's a lot to get into. Hopefully you guys are able to pick up some tips and tricks on what's going on. Check out that prediction markets calculator for any of you that use the prediction markets. This calculator is definitely going to help you navigate it a little bit quicker. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll talk to you tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. Take care.